Mary at ladybugcards.com, and this is the second installment for beginner stampers who are putting together their library of stamp sets plus tools and supplies to become confident stampers. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card, which is using a new stamp set plus the stamp set that we had in our first installment. Not only would you be able to make this card, but you will also be able to make this card, and also this card. So if you're ready, let's get started. I'm using 4 of the items that you purchased from the first video. The clear D block, the piece of cake photopolymer stamp set, the tuxedo black memento ink, and also the whisper white note cards and envelopes. In addition to these 4 items, the new items that you will be using are Stampin' Dimensionals, Mango Melody Stamp Pad, Balmy Blue Stamp Pad, Lovely Lipstick Stamp Pad, and another stamp set, which is also a photopolymer stamp set, Broadway Birthday. And with the addition of this stamp set, you will find that you can extend your creativity when making birthday cards. To make this card, you will need to use a couple of items from the first video and some of the new items that we're talking about today. First thing we want to do is take out the stamp that we're using, and we're using the stamp that says hooray. It looks a little stained because I used some red ink earlier, and for photopolymer stamps, red or brown ink seems to stain it. It has nothing to do with the stamping. It just gives it a slight reddish look, but it does not interfere with the stamping. Okay, we're also using the cake stand and the cake that says happy birthday. So I'm taking those 2 out also. We're using 2 different inks, so we have to be very careful about contamination of our inks, meaning don't stamp in one ink and then stamp in the other one without cleaning your stamp off. You have to clean it off before you change colors. So make sure you always have a wet paper towel or something to clean your stamp with. I want to start with the yellow first. Notice that I have it on my block, the smooth side on the block, but I'm going to take it off and put it back on because I want it to be straighter. Okay, that looks good. Now, I'm going to tap it on my ink pad, and I'm checking to make sure it has coverage, and it looks good. Okay, also check your block to make sure that you don't have any excess ink on your block, because if you do, it will possibly get on your project in places you don't want it to go. You just want it on the stamp. So I'm placing this in the center close to the top, and I'm putting it down. I go across it to make sure I have a smooth coverage there. It's not pressing hard. Okay, lift it up. Now, before I use it again, I'm going to clean it off. Notice I have some paper here. And the reason why I have the paper here is after I clean it off, I just tap it on this paper to make sure I don't have any of that ink left over. I'm going to put it on the other ink pad, which is a little more juicy than my first one, which is fine. Okay, again, check the block. Make sure you don't have any excess ink on your block because you do not want to start over. Now, how do I line this up? What I want to do is get the A from the Balmy Blue Hooray to line up with the Y of the Mango Melody Hooray. So, but I don't want them to overlap. So I'm going to get as close as I possibly can without overlapping. Okay. All right. Now, clean your stamp off. And, okay, we want to get some more of the Mango Melody. And you see, notice now I have a little bit of ink right there. And so I'm going to take a wet towelette and just wipe that off. Okay. Because I only want it on my stamp, not on the block. Again, I'm going to line this up with that Y, the A with the Y. Don't want them to overlap, but I want them to be close to each other. Okay, now clean it off. Blue. Okay, doing the same thing. And I should have space for one more, which would be yellow. Clean it off. I didn't tap, tap, tap the last time, but I'm doing it this time. It's just something you just have to remember to do. Okay, there is none on the block. All right. Now, it's going to come off, but that's okay. We're going to get it as close to that Y as we possibly can without overlapping. And we'll have most of it on the card. All right. There we go with that. Now, all we have to do here is close these up because we're finished with these. The next thing we do is, once we clean this stamp off, we take it and we get the next two that we're using. And the next two, we're going to use the Tuxedo Memento Black on those two. So we're using the cake stand and we're using Happy Birthday. For those who saw the video, my first video, I put one stamp. I always make sure the flat side is on the stamp block. I put one stamp at the top and then I flipped it over and put the other stamp toward the bottom. Again, remember the flat side is on the stamp block. Okay. Make sure that cake plate is straight as it could possibly be. Okay, how's my cake looking? Okay, now I'm using Memento Black ink. I'm gonna put this to the side because I don't need it right now. But I do need a scrap piece of paper, like I said before. So what I want to do is tap, 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 tap. Okay, that looks good. And I just want to put it on this scrap piece of cardstock. And then turn it over. Make sure you get good coverage. You can tell by just looking at it. And I noticed that I have a little black right there. You notice I'm going to wipe that off. Okay, now I want to put that on my cake plate. So if my head gets in your way, I am so sorry. But I want to see those lines right there. Hopefully I got it there. Oh, I did. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is what they call in the craft world fussy cutting. Oh, we do not like to do fussy cutting. There are some people that really enjoy fussy cutting. I don't mind if it's only one item, but when it's a lot of them, oh no. Like my cake is going sideways a little bit. But anyway, so what you want to do is just cut this item out. And I could have cut them out separately, but nah, what's the fun in that? So fussy cutting is basically you're moving the paper around your scissors. That's all. Turning your paper the direction that you want to go. Some people leave margins, little white margins on the sides. I'm not a margin person. You can use a small pair of scissors, snippers, or whatever. This is cutting paper, so don't use please do not go get someone's sewing scissors because they would have a fit. You do not use those scissors on paper. I know that because I used to sew myself, and I have a special set of scissors just for sewing to cut threads. All right, got this out of the way. Next thing I will need is a dimensional, a stamping dimensional. And so I just take one off the pack. Now, I'm going to put one here, but one is not going to be enough. And what does this do? It helps to lift it up. It gives it, I guess, separates it from the card so that it is not so flat on your card. It makes it a more dimensional look. So I want to put a piece down here. There. That should work. I will take my card. Take the backing off the dimensional. Okay. Determine where I want to put it. I think somewhere in here would be good. And there, you have your completed card. All you have to do now is put a sentiment on the inside, which both stamp sets have things that you could put on the inside, some sentiments that you could put on the inside, which would correlate very well with this. These cards and many others can be made using the 4 items that were shown to you earlier, in addition to the ones that were shown in the first video. So if you're a beginner stamper, please think about how you can start your collection with a minimal purchase of the items that are listed. Go to my website, www.ladybugcards.com, and you will see how easy it is to get started in stamping. Hope to see you again soon. Have a good day.